Hi, I'm Shalmali Shetty and I'm the editorial coordinator for the publication that's just released. I am currently standing in the Kodialguthu Center for Art and Culture. We have an ongoing exhibition called Metaphors of Physical and Emotional Spaces, presented jointly by artKanara Trust and INTACH Mangaluru chapter. So I am going to speak a little about the exhibition and a little about my involvement as an editorial coordinator for the publication that released yesterday. So the exhibition is part of. So there are three parts to this program, this event that's taking place currently. One is the award, the Dr. Krishna Photo Story Award, which is given to four selected photo stories this time, part of a contest called the Under 30 Photo Story Contest, and we have an ongoing exhibition as a result of that, and there was a publication release that happened as well. As part of the Under 30 Photo Story Contest, we are trying to encourage the younger generation to sort of look around them within the regions of the Uttara Kannada, Udupi, Dakshina Kannada and Kasaragod districts. So we're looking across the coastal Karnataka region all the way down to Kasaragod to try bringing about histories, unearthing histories and stories and cultures of this region through small projects like these, research projects, trying to bring about alternative stories and histories and trying to build an archives for the future. We're trying to bring in contemporary young voices to speak about their own experiences of living in this region, speak about histories that have been handed down to them, stories that have been handed down to them, to build a different narrative about this region. Yeah, so that was the idea behind the Under 30 Photo Story Contest, and also Dr. Krishna. The Dr. Krishna Award is given in commemoration of Dr. Krishna Mohan, who passed away in 2022, last year, January 11th. And Dr. Krishna was a well-known physician, and it came as a shock to a lot of his followers and a lot of his friends, family members, of course. He contributed a lot to the field of photography as well. He also taught photography to his students and budding photographers, and so we are also trying to, we want to remember him for his contributions to the field, and so the Dr. Krishna Award is given to the awards were granted yesterday. So last year we had the first iteration of the Dr. Krishna Award and the Under 30 Photo Story Contest. But because it was the first iteration, we did not really work around promoting it too much. And this year was the second iteration of the same, and we've had a better response to this the award as well as the contest. So as part of this contest and the publication, we've included 7 photo stories, and we have consciously tried encouraging the younger voices in order to have them speak about their own experiences. We've also tried reducing the language barrier by accepting stories in both English and Kannada obviously, because Kannada not just for the language Kannada, but because it also can be used to write in Tulu, in Mapilla, in Kodava, as well as in Konkani. So we are accepting stories from the different languages spoken in this region. So we've, as part of this publication, included 2 Kannada stories, and the other stories, one comes from the first Kannada story comes from the Uttara Kannada district. The second is off the coast of this region. It's a collaboration between a photographer and a writer. So we are also looking for collaborations, in the meantime. So that is not just one person trying to, just take, there might be somebody who's more, who's stronger in photography than writing, and vice versa. So we are also looking for collaborations between a writer and photographer in order to also bring, sort of intermingle the different mediums used to represent visual stories and visual narratives. So we've got 2 Kannada stories. Then there's a story coming from the region of Kasaragod that also uses words from the Mappila language. We've also got a story from the Malenadu region where the writer, speaks through emotional spaces. She uses certain words in Kannada to do that. And we've got 3 more stories from this region. 2 of them are about the Pilivesha, but coming from the perspectives of both the Hindu community and the Muslim community, because it is not a religious, celebration per se, but rather used to celebrate a culture of this region. And we've got the last story about a certain tradition of weaving the Pingara flowers. So the idea was to, sort of speak about this region through visuals, through writing, through collaborations, using whatever, trying to reduce the language barrier, and using different approaches to doing the same. So the book is available for pre-order. You can also come visit the exhibition and get more information about what we have been doing in this space. And thank you.
This is an initiative to bring photographers and storytellers, let it be from the visual perspective and from the written perspective, to build stories around the Konkan belt, showcasing the culture, rituals, linguistics, and all the hidden gems which this area has incorporated within them. And it also gives an opportunity for young storytellers to collaborate from the written and visual perspective and showcase their work on the walls. When we start looking at different stories, we got quite a few people submitting their work, and we chose the ones which had the emotional touch or emotional quotient to it. Also speaks about a lot of different rituals which people may not been exposed to, and this is our initiative to bring those stories on a public platform so that people know how rich this culture and this area is. So we had chosen 7 photographers and writers, stories basically, which you can see on the walls over here, and they go from divinity of Pingara to Pilivesha to a lot of other aspects which you can come and experience over here at Kodialguthu. This is also in the memory of a dear friend, Dr. Krishna Mohan, who was an eminent photographer and a person who gave so much for the art of photography and culture for this region. So please come and experience what the young photographers and writers have to showcase in this place called Kodialguthu. Thank you.
Yeah, this program organized by the artKanara Trust and INTACH as a tribute to Dr. Krishna Mohan Prabhu is indeed a wonderful effort. Dr. Krishna Mohan was my colleague, 2 years junior to me in my medical school, and he was a comrade in all the rationalistic activities that we organized here in South Kannada and elsewhere. and he was an avid photographer, a wildlife enthusiast, environmentalist. He was all rolled into one, and it's very unfortunate and very unexpectedly we lost him during the COVID epidemic, but not due to COVID. And he was one person who stood by some of us who were critical about the decisions taken by the government and the medical fraternity on the management of COVID. Whether it is lockdowns or vaccines or the treatment policies. So when hardly any of our colleagues were forthcoming to question these decisions that were taken, Dr. Krishna Mohan was one among the very few who dared to question and put across his own views on all these issues. So it's indeed a big loss to all of us personally, as well as to the medical world, and more so to the world of wildlife activities and photography. So therefore this is a fitting tribute by artKanara Trust and INTACH to the memory of Dr. Krishna Mohan, a dear friend.
Thank you for watching aroundmangalore.com channel. Do like, share and subscribe the channel. Thank you.